Hi Aries, welcome to your March reading and happy early birthday to the March Aries. So when I tuned into your energy this month, Spirit showed me a farmer preparing the cold, kind of rocky ground for the coming spring. They were talking about the fact that the sun will be cruising through the area of your chart that is the end before the beginning, the darkest before the dawn part of your chart. The Pisces, before we enter Aries season, before you step into the spotlight, what do you want to prepare, to dissolve, to move out of your way? This is an energy that really supports like decluttering. And that comes to, your physical space, that comes to your inner space. Just something to think about as we head into your reading for March. And keep in mind, it's your solar return. That is your personal new year. The clock restarts for you. So, screw January 1st. This is the time to be making resolutions, to be considering the last year and how that went, what you want to do more of, what you want to do differently or less of, and what you want to be doing on your next birthday. Really envisioning where you want to be, how you want to feel, what you want to experience more of. So first, less. What do I want less of? Let me get rid of it so that I can invite in more, right? We're creating space for all of your solar return birthday gifts from the universe. Cool. All right. Let's get into some cards. We're going to look at the story of the month for Aries. We're going to pull a persona card to see how you are showing up as the protagonist, the main character of your story. And pull cards to see what Spirit wants to highlight for your highest good. Always for Aries, peace, joy, fulfillment, clarity, abundance and ease. Spirit for Aries, what do they need to know in the month of March for their highest good? Any elements of the past as they pertain to the present and the unfolding future. Spirit, what do you want to share with Aries people, Aries sun, Aries moon, Aries rising and dominant people for their highest good? What do we need to know about the climate around them? And what is your guidance on how they can best navigate that climate, Spirit? How can they make the most of what is showing up this month for their highest good, to step into that future of ease, abundance, joy, fulfillment? Aries, Spirit, just one more, please, for what is showing up for Aries. And what do they need to know about it for their highest good? Cool. Let's go. Whew. Thank you, Spirit. Preparing the ground for planting. Preparing the space for creation. That's another way of seeing it. Wow. Wow. Listen, when Spirit talks, Spirit talks. I'm going to need one more. Break it down. You can see it right there, Aries. The guidance. Let's jump right to the anchor of your reading, right at the bottom there. The guidance is break it down. The Tower would imply that there is something in your life that you are recognizing is unsustainable. That it's like, this is taking too much energy, or this is draining my bandwidth or my feeling of power. And when I say that, I mean, I just got off the phone with this person and now I feel completely limp. I feel dried out. What is it for you? Maybe it's like this job, right? This job, I can tell that the ground is shaking underneath us, and it might be time for me to plan in, a kind of exit strategy. It might be time for me to, as Spirit got at the beginning of the reading, to dissolve and declutter anything that I recognize is not built to last, not putting me on the solid ground. Towers are something we can build accidentally and put ourselves in a precarious position. Towers are also a structure that is built for defense, not for making a home. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of what do you need to get rid of, and then we'll jump over to the climate around you, 8 of Cups. What is around you is, oh, I can see where I need to leave this habit, relationship, way of handling my life behind me. A substance, perhaps, like, oh, I've been doing too much drinking, or I've been doing too much avoiding reality by consuming content. It's an like, I'm oversaturated, I'm like hungover, and I need to leave this behind. I need to clarify everything that Spirit said at the beginning of your reading. And then, got a couple of good cards here talking about positive growth. But there is the necessary clarifying that needs to take place, because you don't want to, you don't put a garden on a tower. That don't make no sense. You prepare the ground, not a tower, right? Because you want to grow something. Spirit, what lies on the other side of Aries conquering their fear, conquering their over-analysis? Analysis paralysis is the phrase that Spirit is using, looking at that Eight of Swords sitting in your future. What's on the other side of that self-made gate for Aries people, Spirit? When they trust and believe in their own authority and experience and ability, which is what I'm hearing. It's like that's the big headline here, is we really need you to trust yourself more, and you need to look at the evidence of how you've been able to do stuff like this before, or even stuff like this. This may be something you've never done before, and you never have done anything like this, so you're like, what are you talking about? What I mean is, hey, I have been able to make a really wild pivot in my life and make it work. Hey, I have been able to experience these various tower moments, and when I reflect on that, I remember that I am on solid ground, because I can't control anything that's going on around me, but I can control how together, how centered, how grounded I am, right? And that is grounded in my own security, sense of self, etc. What's on the other side of the gate for Aries in the month of March, Spirit, if they transcend it? Damn, you're really like, okay, you're really afraid. This is something you are really hung up on, and I say this with so much love and compassion, Aries. You might be overthinking it, and in some cases I'm hearing some of you are like overcompensating, meaning you are saying, kind of making excuses for somebody. Like, it's okay that they don't fully treat you right, or that they don't show up for you the way that they should because fill in the blank. They had a rough past, or they've been through it in their other relationships, or something like that. And it's like, we can have compassion for that. That we can have compassion, not carte blanche. That's what Spirit is saying. That they're not allowed to just do whatever because, like, hey, I was hurt. I had to say that to you. I had to do that to you. I had to not show up for you in this way because I was hurt. This is not for every Aries at all. These are general readings, of course, Aries, but whatever Spirit brings through, that is for somebody who is listening to this. So for those of you for whom that doesn't resonate, congratulate yourself. That's wonderful. And we'll talk about you in a second. For those of you for whom that does resonate, you need to choose yourself. And actually, this applies to all of the Aries listening to this. Jumping to the present moment, Nine of Pentacles. When I was talking earlier about having this really grounded sense of self, being able to reflect on your past and see the ways that you have grown, the things you've been able to do and create and transcend, and build all of this, right? Even your tower. Like this really nice job that, yeah, at one time was a dream come true and a wish on a star and all of that stuff, and now it has become a tower. So that doesn't mean that it wasn't amazing that you were able to get to that place of achievement. It just means that now you're understanding, something inside of you is telling you, oh, I think it's time to move on, to move forward. This has been wonderful. This has really helped me grow a lot, and there's more growing to do. There's a 10 of Pentacles out there somewhere, right? The 9 is wonderful. Self-satisfaction, self-fulfillment, self-sufficient, independently wealthy. These are all words associated with the 9 of Pentacles. And there's a 10 of Pentacles where it's like, wow, there's so much more than enough, and I'm surrounded and able to take care of the people and the community that I love. I can go beyond even myself, right? And that is something that's important to you, Aries, because sitting in the past, listen, we're doing a little bit of a memento. We're doing a little bit of backwards, forwards thing with your reading, but listen, this is how it's coming through. I can see in your past, learning, teaching, serving is important to you, the Hierophant. Some of you are getting through school to get to a certain place. Some of you are working toward a promotion. It's like, how do I get up the ranks, right? What is your version of that, Aries? I'm trying to go up the ranks in this. I'm trying to up my knowledge. I'm trying to become, I'm a disciple to something. I am learning this discipline because I want to ultimately be the person who can, teach the discipline. It could be that kind of thing. And Spirit's showing me a few different things here. They're showing me some of you like doing yoga, literally, where it's like I'm practicing this and ultimately I would love to be able to become so wise at this that I dispense that knowledge, or maybe you already are. Let's talk about it because the King of Cups is at the center of your reading. There's you, Aries, wise and importantly, able to maintain your emotional equilibrium no matter what is happening. We are in Pisces season. It's emotional season. It's transcendence season. It's dissolving and letting go and moving out of the way so the new you, Aries season, can come in. And so it's important for you to know your emotional wave. That's something that Spirit is saying. So, for example, when you get like some tough news, like a tower moment, or the feeling, even the hint of a tower, you might know that like first we hit operatic freak out mode or anxiety or whatever yours personally is, right? And then know that like, okay, but then I come down fairly quickly and then I'm able to make much better decisions. There have been moments in the past where I've been at the peak and tried to and made a decision or sent a text or said a thing and it did not work out and it was not the best fucking mode of mode of operations, right? So knowing my emotional wave, I'm peaking right now. I'm gonna take a walk or a shower or a nap or do a fucking kickboxing class, whatever I gotta do until I'm back at equilibrium. And then we can have this discussion, or I can send that text, or I can make my plan. But at the moment of freak out is not the moment to do it. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here. And this is showing up in the future. And the swords, all of these swords, right? So here's a yellow light. You can change this outcome via the power of your free will, making choices, making plans, being able to look at this like a weather forecast and go, okay, I need to pull out an umbrella because they said it was going to rain this month, right? As someone armed with the King of Cups, knowledge of yourself and compassion for yourself and others, which is kind of, weapon is a funny word to use, but it's the King of Cups' ultimate tool, let's say. If we understand where everybody's coming from, it's a lot harder to just categorize them as like a villain or, these are good people, these are bad people, this is wrong, this is right. If we understand and have compassion for the way people are, it gives us and the other person the space, the softness to actually be able to change. If I call you a villain and I say that every decision you make is stupid and idiotic because you are fill in the blank, like left, right, black, white, whatever it is, there's no room for growth. Whereas if I can understand that maybe you're really fucking ignorant, not you, that somebody is really fucking ignorant because of the way that they were raised, the place that they were raised, and the relentless, hate or something that was driven into them, let's just say. If we can have compassion for that, then there might be room for them to see us differently and therefore grow. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So your yellow light says, don't compensate for other people. Having compassion for them is not the same as compensating and like allowing them to be that way and adjusting your own behavior. We can compassionately bring something to someone's attention, and if they decide they want to double down on that, we know that that's our time to make a new decision. Okay, I've stated my boundary. Now you violated it after I have made it really clear to you. That says to me you are a person who doesn't care about my boundaries and my needs, right? So that means, logic tree, if this, then that. If you violate my boundaries, then I step away, or whatever it is, whatever your own personal contract with yourself is. But you do need to have that contract. The ultimate outcome after all this overthinking in the future is the Chariot. So I want to remind you that it's not a problem to have conflict, to be overthinking, to have anxiety. It can suck and it can feel very uncomfortable, but it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. Most of us try to think our way out of problems because we've been sort of socialized to think that that's what has to happen, rather than maybe feeling our way, rather than maybe trusting our intuition, rather than maybe asking our body, how do you feel when you're around this person, or when we're at this job or whatever, and going, oh, that's, my body thinks this sucks, even though my brain is telling me you need this job because this is like, you need to make this amount of money and you need to have this kind of title and this and that, or else you're worthless. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the body doesn't lie to us ever. It doesn't make up stories. It likes it or it doesn't. It moves toward it or it flinches away from it. You know what I'm saying? Ground yourself and make decisions where you've got everybody present. Mind, body, heart, soul. Sitting in the potential outcome. Your hopes and your fears are the Wheel of Fortune, which is interesting because I think of that as the equal and opposite of the Tower. Will you take this weather forecast and turn your tower into a Wheel of Fortune by being proactive, by making new choices, by adjusting behaviors now and detaching from unhealthy things now and making brave decisions on faith to expand past where you think you can now? The key, Nine of Wands, another card saying you've been through it and you learned something and took something good from every single moment. So please allow yourself to reflect on that and remember that as part of your 12th house clean out. Reflecting on the past year, reflecting on your whole past life. What have I learned? I've been through some hard things. What did I take from that? What did I take from that? What have I learned from that? And arm yourself with that. Secure yourself in that, in who you are and who you've grown into. You are going good places. Don't overthink it and don't talk yourself out of it. Pull in the direction that you want to go, the victory that you want, the thing that you want to build or grow. It is out there. It's just a matter of making decisions that are in alignment with it. Okay? Okay. Thanks for being here, Aries. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe if you vibe. I really appreciate those of you helping out my little channel. I would love to see it grow. Appreciate you, Aries, and I hope I will see you at our Saturday live. Till then, bye-bye.